Hey Dan, nice to have you here today. Can you introduce yourself and what's your commitment with the CloudStack project?
I am Daan Hoogland. I'm from the Netherlands. I have been a committer with the CloudStack project since 2012, where I started working for a heavy power user of CloudStack. We started committing a lot of patches on it, and later that year I also became a project management committee member, and by now I'm also an Apache Foundation member.
What is the role of a PMC member for the CloudStack project?
It is guarding that the project is not straying from the Apache principles and making sure that no one is unjustly treated within the project, and of course at some times making some decisions about availability of resources and marketing issues, security issues, and there's a few more, I'm sure, but those are important.
It's quite interesting because you have CloudStack, which is purely an open source project, but it's also governed by the Apache Software Foundation. So would you say that the Apache Software Foundation is giving the direction to which the project is going, or it's the contributors?
No, it's the contributors, I think. Of course, there's a committer group. It's kind of hierarchical. You have contributors, which is everybody that uses this and has something to say about it. Then there's the committer. They're the group of people that are recognized by the project and that have the right to commit to the repository of CloudStack. Then there's the PMC. PMC is basically all the very active committers. After, between half a year and 2 years, they become committer because we trust them as the project. And then you have Apache, and Apache does really nothing with the project. It's just guiding it sets the guiding principles for the policies of managing the project. Now, everybody who has something to contribute may have an issue with how the software works and may give us a change. I would like it to be working like that. Mm-hmm. And that then becomes either a discussion or everybody goes, oh wow, that's good, and it gets committed.
But is it true that everybody can contribute to the project? Is there some restriction or?
No, there's no restriction at all. Everybody can contribute in any way, by reporting issues, by creating documentations, by making fixes, or by doing marketing.
I was about to ask whether it's obligatory to be actually only an IT person so that you can contribute.
Nowhere. It's not necessary. The project must benefit from what you do. That makes you a contributor.
I see. And CloudStack is a project which is for a long time on the market, and you're involved for more than 13 years. Do you see any change in the direction of the development?
Not very large. There's a movement in the amount of third-party integrations that are there. Some get phased out, some get added. The core architecture of the project has remained the same. Mm-hmm. Of course, there's been changes about how the repository was hosted, where and what checks are being done on the code, but in general, it's still the same thing.
Which is your most significant contribution for these years?
For this year, I think I helped the marketing team with their website.
And we're very grateful to Dan for having this done.
Thank you.
And on the technical side? I mean, not only for this year, but for all of the years in which you are involved.
Well, most of them were refactorings of orchestration parts. I have done some minor things for making viewing the status of the systems easier. I've been working on network issues. I'm not very, I cannot name all the features or all the bug fixes, it's been, there's people that have committed more, but it's been too much, so no, I cannot be more specific.
What would you say to developers which are wondering whether they should engage with an open source solution or not?
as a developer, you want to discuss your intentions through code, and that you do through sharing your code. And you can do that in a limited environment like a company, or you can do it in an unlimited environment like a public repository that is managed by a open source foundation. I don't think I need to tell any developer which is the more productive and which is the more convenient.
Yeah.
So yes, go for open source.
Yeah, I suppose it depends pretty much on the point of view and what career path you want to have. But actually, if you start contributing to an open source project and development in that direction, is this actually helping your career path somehow?
You are more visible. I mean, I am fine in my current job, but I get through my contributions on GitHub a lot of queries for, hey, Daan, don't you want to do this job? Or we have a position there. Can we persuade you to come work with us?
So it makes you more competitive. Actually,
it makes you more visible to people that are searching. And that might not be really a direct competition advantage, but it gives you more opportunities to be competitive.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Dan, for having you here today. Anything you want to say to the CloudStack community?
I think we're doing a great job, but we're up for a challenge. A lot of people are looking into using CloudStack, but are not familiar with it yet, and they're coming to us because of the Broadcom VMware takeover, and now we have a lot of opportunity, but also a lot of people that just want to consume. So we have to be picky about what we do and make sure that we implement the right things to make the project more viable.
Yeah, you're completely right, and I think it's important for people using open source technologies to realize that it's not about just using the technology, but it's about bringing back to the project and also contributing.
Yes, and also making sure that whatever you did is maintained by the community, so that you don't have to do it.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dan. Nice to have you here.